Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
What's going on?
Can everybody hear and see us? Is that something that is happening right now at this very moment?
Hello.
Yes, can you see us? Can you hear us?
Hey, Aussie. Hey, Amy. Hey, Katie. Hey, Julie. Hey, Allison.
Polly's in the chat.
Hey, Polly.
Hey,
Harry's on
what's going
Facebook
on?
over there, and so is Daniel. Give me a second.
Wanda. How's it going, Wanda?
Hello, everybody.
Her baby.
Good evening.
Hey, Glenda. Hey, Tawny. Hey, Terry. Hey, Amesy Pop. Welcome back. We saw the members just a few minutes ago. So hello again to any of the members that have migrated over from the private live stream to this one.
Tom said he can't see or hear us. I think he's messing with us a little bit.
I think Tom is.
Knowing Tom.
Tom's a bit of a jokester.
You don't know.
Come on, Tom.
Hey, Lauren. Hey, Casey. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Jen.
Hey, Casey, what's up? Oh,
Share it up, guys.
yep.
Tammy and Steve are in the chat. Hello.
Yes, they are. Guys, if you'll see scrolling at the bottom of the screen, follow us on Instagram. Go follow us on Instagram. We want to get to 1,000, what are they called? Followers. By whenever, just in general. Let me see how close we are to that right now.
Loving the facial hair, Jason.
It's 11 o'clock shadow.
We're 70 away.
Is that a Coca-Cola? Not sponsored, but
This is not sponsored, but yes.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
It's the original taste.
oh wow.
Can't get that many places. A lot of people don't know that. When you buy your Coca-Cola, it's not always the original taste. You got to look for the vendors. Usually it's like Kroger's. Will sell you Coca-Cola with original taste. You got to get the OG taste.
Oh, my gosh.
For the sake of our YouTube chat here, our YouTube stream, we'll just say that he's drinking a cola.
Soda.
It's unbranded, folks.
Yeah, it's scrolling right at the bottom of the screen at paranormal_quest. Right under Jason's face right now. And now it's under Steve's face. And now it's under Jason's face.
So to get started with the stream here, we wanted to let you guys know that we recently actually, yesterday, Dave and I went out and filmed a video. We had a free day, so we went out and we filmed. And we had a pretty cool trip, a little cool adventure. And two of the most haunted places in and around the area that we live, actually. They're legendary, one might say. So I'm excited to edit that and upload it.
It was a lot of fun, and anybody who was a member of the channel got to see a sneak peek of that yesterday. So make sure that you go and join the membership thing for the channel here. You can get behind the scenes things, videos from location, personal videos. I did one for Josh Rutherford. He's the only top tier guy on there. I just haven't gotten to upload that yet. But yeah. And what else was I going to say?
I don't know. But I will say at the end of that adventure, let's just say I had to basically put the floor mat of the car on the seat and sit on that because I was that muddy from where we were going and the places. Let's just say it was dark, damp, and very muddy.
It was. Oh, I know what I was going to say. In conjunction with the channel memberships, that we are still giving people just about another week to join the channel memberships for Steve's giveaway that
Yep.
He's giving away a haunted item from the archive of the afterlife there. And if you're a channel member, it's different from a subscriber, but if you're a channel member, you are automatically entered in to win that, no matter which tier level that you are. Steve, do you want to explain that again real quick for everybody that's new?
This right here is a piece of wood and brick dust and a little bit of dirt from the former Tyler County Poor Farm here in Tyler County, West Virginia. Dave and I actually salvaged this on our last trip down there together, and unfortunately, it no longer exists. Not to over dramatize it, it's pretty much it's wiped from the history books. Pretty much, I think there might have been like a stack of 10 bricks or so left, And despite the state trying to help save it, despite multiple people from pretty much all over trying to save it, the powers that be down there were hell-bent on destroying that building. They even ignored money that was going to be sent to them from the state, from what I'm told. That's from a very credible source. So, as I told you, Dave and I went down there to take a peek at it. We were able to salvage a few items. The brick dust here, a little bit of dirt, and this big chunk of wood beam. I took away from the actual larger items, and I was just thinking about it one day. Thought it would be pretty cool to do a giveaway with it and help support PQ, which of course I'm always going to do that. So, so that's what we're going to do with it. So
if you guys are interested, go and join the memberships thing. But anyway,
did you? I forget. Did we give them like an exact date and time when the deadline?
The next members only live stream, we're going to we'll announce it.
Okay. Which will be next week.
It will be next week.
Okay.
Also, we wanted to say early on, while we still have everyone's attention here, we are going to be a part of a very special event tomorrow. So we wanted to get that out there for all of our YouTube and Facebook to see. It's going to be over on the Paranormal Encounters page. Of course, our good friends Connor and India from Paranormal Encounters. They are hosting a charity live stream tomorrow. It's going to be 24 hours long, and it is going to host a variety of guests, and it is all going to go to raise money for suicide prevention. So there is the actual poster.
What the?
So you can see. I'm sure they saw that in the background.
Was that the cat?
Yeah. So you can see everybody that's going to be there. A lot of cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's a great cause. It really is.
You've got
Absolutely.
You've got Amy's Crypt there. I don't know a lot of these people, to be fair.
The Foreman brothers.
The Foreman brothers.
Viva.
The Crow guy. Viva from Hidden Marietta. Steve Hummel from Archive of the Afterlife. Paranormal Quest, whoever they are.
Yes, see someone said the Haunted Side. Yep.
Haunted Side will be there. They're going to be doing a lot of cool things. They're going to be doing a lot of raffles. I'm raffling. I don't know if anybody else is, but I'm raffling off. I actually acquired I don't know if it's haunted or not, but a really old Chucky doll from Steve's museum there that he gave me. And it's part of my personal collection of oddities and stuff like that. And I'm going to raffle that off. So if you guys are interested in that, stop by.
For sure. And in case anyone is interested in going over and joining the Facebook page for this event for updates, I will go ahead and put that up on the screen right now so you all can see that. So there is the 24-hour charity live stream. You can go over and
we won't be there for 24 hours. That'll be, we'll be stopping in and helping them out, and then we have our own time slot. But That's India's nightmare. To stay up for 24 hours. I don't know how she's going to do it. Excuse me.
Yeah, we are going to help her a little bit, because there's a point in time during the day when Connor is going to be actually at his place of employment. So we're going, we're going to help her out. We're going to co-host with her just to help in case she needs a break, in case she needs a little bit of input. We'll be there for that at some points during the day. But yes, it's going to be fully paranormal encounters deal. So definitely go, if you guys have not subscribed to them, go check them out. They have a great channel, a lot of cool videos.
Absolutely.
And it's definitely worth it.
It will be really cool. And I saw on there somewhere that somebody said they broke their ankles. That's awful.
No, no. Who was that?
I think that was Amesy. Amy said she broke her ankles.
Oh, wow.
Not weird, but that's awful.
Yeah.
Pretty cool lineup. Foreman Brothers. Yeah, a lot of people are excited for this. It's going to be the place to be tomorrow, guys. So make sure that you set aside a little bit of time to stop by, or a lot of time to stop by and help them out. And it is worth the call, like we said.
It is, for sure. Here is the actual doll that Dave is going to raffle off.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
Behold.
And I'll verify it did come from the museum. Is it haunted? No clue.
It's definitely creepy.
Yeah, it is.
Starting bid is $25,000. No, I'm just kidding.
So
Yeah.
that'll be fun. Yeah, that's not good, Katie. I hope you're all right. Breaking both of your ankles at the same time sounds pretty painful.
It's one fucking
Painful.
But absolutely, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's for a good cause. So go over to Paranormal Encounters and get ready. It's going to be a lot of fun and hopefully raise a lot of money for charity while we're all here in this health crisis, because not many people have a whole lot to do while they're stuck at home. So come and watch the live stream that they put on and listen to some cool paranormal people talk and raise some good money for charity.
Yes, of course.
$5. Thank you, Casey.
Thank you, Casey. That is so kind of you.
Very cool.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Viva.
Hey, Viva.
Oh, Viva. What's up, Viva?
Viva is in the chat.
I think I'm starting to lose my voice.
That's not good.
Yeah, so do we want to get into the topic of today's live stream?
Yeah, absolutely. The topic of today's live stream
is discussing different ways to investigate, different approaches, different experiments and things like that. That we've done throughout the years, that we've heard of people doing throughout the years, and things that we would like to try.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It'll be on YouTube, by the way. People were asking where that 24-hour stream is going to be.
On YouTube.
Yes.
So go ahead in the comment section, everybody. Put different types of techniques that you would actually like to try while we start discussing this. We'll comment on it and let you know what we think about specific techniques. It doesn't necessarily have to be equipment. Keep that in mind. You could use different styles of investigating as input. You don't have to put different pieces of equipment in there. So it's kind of interesting because our style of investigating has changed a lot over the years, wouldn't you say, guys?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever we first started to investigate the paranormal, you go back and watch some of our old videos, we rely very heavily on provocation a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
But we were, we cut our teeth on the paranormal in a violent correctional institution. That's where we were used to investigating, and inmate spirits are not always the nicest. So we kind of gravitated towards that style of investigating. And since we've matured, we've grown, and now we do it a little bit differently.
Yeah, and I think being able, when we did our first big trip to Waverly, and we all said, it was entirely different for us. It was new because we weren't investigating spirits that were literally, in some ways, trying to harm us in their own way. You know what I mean? So, when you're investigating peaceful spirits or spirits that are sad or just lonely, you know what I mean? It's a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
A lot different that way. And thank you, Kieran.
Oh, thank you for the super sticker.
That's awesome. Thank
Very
you.
much.
I know one of the things I was asking around last night for topics, and Mom was the one that came up with, the idea of doing different investigation types and, different experiments that people do while they're investigating. And she brought up a good point. Like when her and I first started going into the penitentiary there in the early 2000s to investigate, we had a boom box or whatever, that we would take in with us, and we would play just old time music and stuff. I forget what the one song was. Let me see what she had said. I forget.
Yeah. And I even remember that too. I remember going in and playing music as well, So that was a Mountaineer Paranormal.
Yeah. I remember playing GNR. We used to play a lot of GNR in North Hall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then old time country music and stuff. Yeah. So it got everything pretty amped up.
Mom, what was the name of that song? I can't find it now. And I can't remember, which is par for the course. But anyway, we would play this song, and we got an EVP that after the song, it may have been right as the song was ending or after the song had ended. It was just a laugh, a disembodied laugh, and came out of nowhere. And that was still one of the more memorable things that I remember from investigating there, even though I can't remember the name of the song. Oops.
There was a question actually up from, let me see.
What's up, Bearded Paranormal?
Hey, Bearded Paranormal. It's from Rachel 1985, says, how much credence do you put into using flashlight manipulation? I've used this, but use it cautiously.
Personally, I don't go for that personally.
No. Now, I will say that there was one time that we actually did get some interesting evidence from a flashlight, but it was not a mag light. We will say that because, for those of you that aren't familiar, flashlight manipulation is just you take the mag light, screw it to where it's just barely off, but the connection is loose so that it could come on at any point. And I think a lot of people, will, when there's a connection that's made due to environmental changes, humidity and things like that can cause that connection to become more firm and the light comes on.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happens people ask questions that they think are relevant, and then when the flashlight turns on, you get a lot of false positives.
Big Rock Candy Mountain. That was it. Sorry.
Big Rock Candy Mountain.
Oh, I remember that song.
The flash. Tell them about the flashlight incident, though, as you were before I interrupted you. But
that's all right. Hey, no, we were in the Sugar Shack of the West Virginia Penitentiary. And
oh God, you're gonna show.
Oh yeah.
And this is from 2008, 2009, something like that.
Oh God.
And it was actually a pretty powerful coal mining flashlight that relied on you to push the button. And we said that if something wanted us to leave, to turn the flashlight off. And you can watch, the easiest thing to look at is if you look up on the ceiling, you can see the beam of the flashlight because it's not a high quality, it's not high definition. Because this was back then. We didn't have high definition camcorders back then. But you'll see the light actually dim. And this is not a flashlight that generally does that. It's not a mag light. It was just pushed on. We left it sit. And when we asked it to turn the flashlight off, it dimmed down to about the brightness of a Christmas light.
I do want to say real quick before you hit play on that,
Yeah.
the light that we used was actually from my dad's work that I had brought with me, and we opened it there and put brand new batteries in it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was pretty interesting, and you get to see the old style of investigating, so you may hear a lot of provocation in this because, like I said, this is back when we first started. This is a little bit different.
We were rookies.
Turn it off.
Let me start that
We
over.
heard you don't like the light. Turn it off. Or push it over. I dare you to touch the flashlight. I freaking dare you. We're not leaving until you turn it off.
Oh, this is so long ago.
In the cabin, I think.
Good old Sugar Shack, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Don't make cowardly little noises in the cabin. Come and shut off the flashlight. Rat bastards. Get down here. Turn that freaking flashlight off and get in the freaking work. Turn your ass in solitary.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll see it coming up here, everybody. I zoom out, and then it does it.
Because wasn't it right when other people were getting ready to walk in?
Scumbag convict.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like I said, apologies everybody. We were learning our way.
Yes, we were. Dealing with violent inmates.
Here it comes.
Oh God!
People started to come in here.
More people coming in here, guys.
Watch the
You know what
light.
that means? You're freaking outnumbered. Hurry up and turn it off before they get in here. Maybe we'll all leave.
Very good.
Did you have it on it? Yes, I had it pointed on there. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Holy.
Did you see that, guys? I'm gonna rewind it so you guys can see it. Watch the light on the ceiling.
Maybe we'll all leave.
Yeah,
So there it was.
cool.
There's no stages of light, light settings on that flashlight.
No,
It's on or off.
That was pretty cool.
it did not dim. It did not, it doesn't have a dim setting. It just, like Steve said, on, off. That's it. So,
Sherry said, "I think it's cool when one person puts on headphones and listens to a spirit box while the other person asks questions. They call that the Estes method, correct?"
yeah.
That is fun. We're gonna start doing that a little bit, I think.
We had a lot of luck with it at the Lafayette Hotel when we
Yeah.
investigated there.
Speaking of, Viva said she can't wait for the quarantine to be over so I can go back to the prison. Same. You could dress up to match the period you are investigating.
Yeah.
There's-
That touches base with that John Sabal that I met many years ago. One example they did in Gettysburg is all the male investigators of their group would go out first into the battlefield, do EVP, do different techniques and stuff like that with different pieces of equipment. Then they would leave. The ladies in the group, all dressed in black, because the ladies back then would wear dark-colored clothing to go out and take care of the wounded soldiers. So that way the soldiers wouldn't see the blood and the gore on their dresses that way. So they brought a lot of theater, if you will, into investigating. So Nana hit that right on the head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's something that if we had more time and preparation before going to a location, we probably would, which we do know of a few locations we're going to be doing this year. So maybe we can, do that ourselves, try and use that to bring out some of the activity.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
Thank you for the question, Nana. That's pretty cool, pretty awesome.
Yes. Anybody else have anything they would like to comment on?
Trigger objects.
Trigger objects.
Yes.
Trigger objects. So I think that it's pretty cool to use trigger objects. We've had it work in the past for us.
Mhm.
at different locations. A lot of the times was at the prison, setting out cigarettes or medications or things like that to try and entice. And, it's worked for us before.
It has. I remember there was a specific investigation where, let me see if I can find it here. Sorry, I'm going to type for a second. There was a specific investigation that we did. I think here it is. Let me see if I can find it, though. Sorry, guys. Where actually we went into North Hall cell block, and I actually was using an actual knife that had been made in the penitentiary as a trigger object.
Mm.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's where we each took a tier on that one, didn't we?
Yeah, we each took a tier, and we walked up on the upper tiers of North Hall, and this would have been 2012, something like that. But you can see I was actually using a handmade shank or a knife as a trigger object to try and incite activity, and you could see things were happening around me, at least. I know they had gone on the opposite side of the cell block by the time I had made it to this point. They were all almost done with their walkthrough, and I heard it sounded like a cell door slamming from down below me right at the time that this happened. So that's an older one right there as well.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That's the one that looks like I think they made in the machine shop. It's still on display in the museum there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. If you want to see that shank, you just have to visit the West Virginia Penitentiary.
Oh yeah, yeah. Come down and check it out. That's for sure. Are you gonna play any of that or?
I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
I ain't here to hurt anybody.
Right here.
Just here doing my job.
Who is that?
You.
Me?
Yeah, they're doing the job.
I ain't no officer either.
Kill anyone.
My camera was actually going in and out of focus there for a while, looking back behind me.
It was very eerie that night.
Nobody wants to kill
It
me.
was.
It was very eerie.
Well, he had that loud cell door slam too.
Oh,
Here it is.
guys.
I'll do the replay.
Guys, can you hear me? I just heard a cell door slam. It was down towards that end. It was a door. It was something, and the door slammed up here. My camera had to pick it up, I swear.
That was a fun night. I wish we
Yeah,
could get
my
back in and do a new riot night investigation from where we've upped our quality and stuff since the last one that we did. That would be
Take the pedal box in too.
yeah, that would be quite the production.
That would be.
I want to throw that one up there. We've done that a lot in the prison there as well. Playing, like we had said earlier, just playing, music that would have related a lot to them. And, we tried to, as Jason and I were talking on the phone earlier about how we went in one time and pretended like we were going to, I think we handcuffed Ryan and drug him through the hallways and kind of staged a little riot and an attack. And
we tased him.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit, Jason?
Yeah, we tased him, putting him into the cell.
It worked well for us. We had some interesting things happen.
Kind of recreating the events that would have happened on January 1st of 1986 at the prison,
Oh, yeah.
The last riot, the most violent. So,
Yeah. Here's a good question.
Hold on before you move on there.
So sorry.
No, you're fine. am actually pulling this up here so everybody can see. For those of you that actually missed that, so you can know what Jason and Dave were talking about there.
Inmate, I'm gonna need you to get on the ground right now. Get over here. Get on the ground right now. Get against the cell. No, you drop your weapon and get over there. Get against the cell. Put your hands behind your back. All right, let's see how you like it. Be cool. Yeah, see how you like it. Be cool. Put you in these cuffs.
Just for the record, Ryan really likes the handcuffing part.
Any back up? Is there anybody out there?
Look at that product
Get off me
placement.
with your mouth. Get off me. Keep the clothes. Look what you're causing. Get it around your.
Sounds like Jason's sick of the madness.
Stay
Sick
there.
of the chaos.
Pull that sleeve up. I need a scissors. Shut your mouth. You're in distress. Shut your mouth. Because they ain't coming for you. We're going to do you like you do.
I gotta think about
It's our
Star
prison
Wars.
now. This is our walls. We run the show.
And this was all a live stream too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a live stream.
I'm not playing around.
He's having a little trouble with his gloves on.
Hey, I need somebody in here.
Shut your freaking mouth, man.
What is your come into the bar?
All right, I think that's enough of that.
Oh, thank you, Julie.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Oh, shoot. Oh, thanks. Thank you very much.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, that was a good one. Totally forgot all about that. Had the stun gun going and everything.
Oh, that was a fun night.
Stun gun, handcuffs. It was a good night.
Oh yeah. We played for keeps.
That's right.
Let's see. Oh, did I just do that?
Yeah, you just kicked. Dave just kicked himself out.
Where'd Dave go?
He disappeared.
No.
To the
Alex
infinite
says,
void.
"Oh, so you have to do that when I come back to the prison." LOL.
Oh yeah.
He is back. Oh my gosh! What have I done?
God. There you go.
Sorry. I was trying to look for that other one that I was gonna. Oh, this one. Have we ever had anything follow us home?
Have we ever had anything follow us home? That is a good question there from H. Martin.
Yes.
I would be inclined to say yes, especially when me, Jason, and Ryan all had the house over in Wheeling. We had a few instances where some weird things happened after investigations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, well, after we filmed at, or was it after or before we filmed at the cabin where things were happening? I think both.
Both, yeah. It was
Both, but especially after.
Yeah, talk about your experience, Jason, about the whole experiences at home with the cabin.
Oh, yeah. It was absolutely crazy. I mean, like we said before and after, before it was maybe 24 hours before we were due to, investigate the cabin, 3.5, 4 hours away, another part of the state. And so we're far away. And I was sleeping on the couch in the living room, which is downstairs. And I woke up, come to find out, around 3 a.m, a little after. And, you're kind of half lucid, you're half awake. You just woke up and it's no lights on in the living room. It's dark, but a little bit of ambient light coming in from the street. So I could see a little glow, and I could see a solid black shadow walking through the living room, very slow. And I can't demonstrate it very well here, but, it was just standing straight up, probably about 5.5 feet tall, maybe a little taller, kind of almost hunchback, just walking real slow, and walking towards the door, towards the hallway and up the stairs. Well, it was totally silent. I didn't hear anything. And I thought it was Dave right off. I'm like, your mind always goes to what is it can relate to being normal or usual. Well, Dave's got up, he maybe got some water or something. He's on the way back upstairs. And I kind of made a noise or a sound to try and get his attention that he would respond to, and there was no response. That's a little odd. It went behind a corner. I was like, okay, that had to have been Dave. I was sure in my mind. And I looked around just to be sure because I didn't know. I thought maybe this is something a little bit stranger going on. I looked around the corner and at the clock on the stove, and it was like 3:03 or 3:23 something in the morning. And I was like, okay, I'll just remember that in case. And I asked Dave the next day, that morning, I was like, were you up this morning at like a little after 3 getting water from the kitchen? He's like, no, I've been in bed. I was like, this was crazy. Not just seeing a shadow move through the living room, but speaking to it, acknowledging it, trying to communicate with it, I didn't realize I was doing at the time. We come to find out later when we're at the cabin, that just like with Polly's past experiences with Dave and Renee, and that it kind of pointed in the direction that the shadow I seen him, the dream was almost like a vision or something. There's something more to it, and it was darker, and it really made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you telling us about that. And there was a lot of weird stuff that happened. I remember there was a specific moment we were all in the living room, and it was just like, a weird. You remember how the water was leaking through the ceiling at the cabin in the kitchen where it had caught on fire and burned down, and it was just like that. It was like we were reliving that moment, because it was like, all of a sudden it was like a flashback moment to where there was water. We were just sitting at home in the living room, and it was like a flashback moment. There was water dripping down through the ceiling, and you could hear the water, see the burnt pieces of the wall, what was left, the charred remains of this cabin all around us. It was just kind of strange. And I think there were multiple of us that experienced that at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mine was more like smells for me.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, that cabin had a distinct smell to it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you have your typical, like, wet earth, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But, like, on the main level, like where the living room would be and stuff like that, it had that just, I don't know, it's hard to describe what the smell was.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely weird.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have a question from Anthony on Facebook. Anthony Drummer says, have you guys ever been possessed?
Dave? Just checking.
I don't know. I don't know if I would classify Moon River as a possession or not. I'm still not sure what happened really there. I would say probably that would be the closest thing for me personally. It was very, very weird. Yeah, it was very weird. I would say if I wasn't, then I was very close to it.
I would say oppression, heavy oppression.
Pretty weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you still had some form of control in a way.
Yeah, it was definitely very weird. It was more of an influencing of the behavior, like Steve said, like an oppression type of feel. But
very scary.
Yeah, it was definitely very odd, very odd. Before we move on and answer more of that, let's go ahead and recognize Nana there.
Thank you very much,
Nana.
Thank you.
The super chat, that is really kind of you.
That is very nice of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kenny said, let's do another Bobby Mackey's.
Mm-hmm.
Set it up.
Bobby Mackey's is a fun place.
It is a fun place.
We all need to go down to Bobby Mackey's and just hang out.
Yes.
Get the old gang back together. Have everybody go down there. And maybe we investigate. Maybe we just, ride the bull.
I'm riding the...
Do they have one?
Yeah, they have a bull.
Sign me up.
Turning on down there.
Shoot. So, but thank you, Nana.
That was very nice.
Very nice of you. Yes, Austin says that. Wrong one. Sorry. Jason Walker says museum is full of trigger objects? ?
It is. Yeah, we used to do a lot of haunted object live streams. Maybe we should bring those back if you guys liked those.
Yeah,
Uh,
newer objects to use.
it's true.
If you guys want that.
We always had some interesting things happen.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that, and actually, I think it would be cool to bring that back once we can actually all get together and hang out at the museum again.
Mm-hmm.
Get some equipment rolling and just see what happens. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Got that new big item in. We'll definitely have to do something with it when I get it in here.
Oh yeah.
Mackenzie, Woody says, are bad thoughts by a spirit considered a possession, or is that totally different?
I would say that's more oppression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More oppression. Possession is total. It's pretty much total loss of control. Whenever you're, you know what I mean? There's a fine line with it, but bad thoughts like that, that's like they said, that's pretty much oppression.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be part of the infestation stage as well. So.
Yep. Total, like they said, possession is more of like a total loss of full body autonomy. You don't have control of you're out of control. Something else is controlling you. I've never experienced that. I've heard of people that have said they've experienced it, but yeah.
The main thing go ahead, sorry.
I just said it's different.
Yeah. And the main thing with that, a lot of people bypass is having someone talk to a licensed professional to make sure that it's not a spiritual problem, but it could possibly be a mental problem. You know what I mean?
Could be. Yeah.
To do a proper analysis of it, you should definitely have talked to kind of both sides of the coin, the scientific side and the spiritual side of it. I'm one of the few people, I think, that especially in that arena, that both sides should be equally utilized in that type of situation.
Thank you, Mazzy.
Yes. Thank you very much.
We're so glad that you're enjoying the channel. Thanks for subscribing, and we want to keep bringing you more content. So thank you so much, of course. Always appreciated with the super chats. You all are too kind. Here's a good one. What do you think the strongest protection you have? Crystals, faith, mindset?
That
I would say your mindset.
Yeah.
For me personally, is mindset. I mean, going in, realizing if there is something here that is present that is capable of taking me over to a position where I can't control myself, then I'm going to be protected from that entity. As long as you go in kind of envisioning yourself the way I see it and just positivity. Some people consider it a bright light, like a white light. No matter how you consider it, as long as you just kind of surround yourself in this nothing but positivity and you go in, I feel mindset really is probably, that's really where the shaft goes. If you ask me, having the right mindset will really help you through a lot in life, not just an investigation.
Oh, for sure. I definitely agree with everything you said there, Jason.
you really get a grip on the whole situation that way.
But no, and I was just talking about this the other day. I feel like a lot of the time stuff followed me was in the past whenever I really dwelled on locations a lot more. It really has helped. Currently, whenever I leave a location, I kind of tend to shed whatever energy is with me from that location when I leave, and most of the time that works. Sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it does work, and I've not had anything attach itself to me or have any real negative effects since. It's just like do the investigation, capture what we can, and then whenever it's all said and done, just shed that energy and let it go.
Yeah. I definitely agree. It seems that the common denominator here is definitely the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So, and for me personally, mindset and faith kind of go hand in hand for me. So, but yeah, you got to be confident. You got to take control the situation. If you entertain the fear, then you're letting the fear control your life. So,
Right.
That kind of answered that question right there from Leanne. Before investigation, do you take precautions to minimize any attachments? But there's the question.
you take
I mean, are we answering this one?
You can if you want, if you feel so inclined.
I mean, personally, I don't. Usually, not really. I don't.
I just kind of play it by ear. You know what I mean? Just kind of react to the situation as it happens, or as they happen, because obviously investigations are hours long. So
Yeah.
I've really always gone into it with pretty much a clean slate. I've never really made any decisions on what I was protecting myself against before even going into experience whatever it was we were investigating for. So keeping an open mind, open to experience, and then if I feel like I need to worry about an attachment later on, then that's a issue for a different time. But that's not always the best approach. So don't
right.
don't adopt that from me. All right.
There's a good question right there.
Yeah.
What is your favorite ghost hunting equipment that you like to use on an investigation? Mine probably would be my eyes and ears, or like a REM pod and a camcorder. Probably be my go-to. Labs.
What about you, Steve?
I'm pretty much the same with you there. I think the difference between a paranormal researcher and a ghost hunter, I think the paranormal researcher, first and foremost, should use themselves as their main source of research. I do like REM pods. To me, they're pretty much tried and true. But I think the brass tacks of it is a very good digital recorder and a high quality camcorder, because 99% of your evidence is going to be visual or audio. So,
yeah. Oh, yeah,
absolutely,
for sure. I would agree with that.
Before Jason goes with his, thank you, Tawny, for the
Tawny, thank you very much. You're awesome. Everyone's awesome.
All right, and back good. Jason, your turn to answer the question. Let me find it again.
Yeah, I would say for me, I agree with, Dave and Steve that, your own body first, what we're given naturally is probably best. Your intuition, your senses, or as some people say, your sixth senses. But as far as equipment goes, my first would be probably an audio recorder, digital audio, preferably, and then some kind of device to capture, visual. So probably like a video camera. Still camera is better than nothing, but and that's like the foundation, like the essentials, in my opinion. I mean, if anything, just yourself and a notepad and a pencil.
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys have said. My favorite personally is, of course, the digital voice recorder, and then the infrared night vision camcorder, just because, especially, with the right amount of extra infrared light, you can light up everything and see what's going on without actually having any shadow contamination from external light sources like a flashlight, things like that. Personally, I feel like the digital voice recorder is an essential paranormal investigation tool, just because out of everything we've ever used in all of our years of investigating, we've caught more evidence on a digital voice recorder than we have any single piece of equipment that we own. So it's something that I think every investigator needs to use, and that is why I choose it to be my favorite.
Yeah, agreed.
That didn't sound too scripted, did it?
No, it wasn't.
because it's not. It's not.
It's not.
Hey, thanks, James. Go watch the season 1 gag reel.
Yes. Thank you, James.
Oh, let me go down here. Thank you, James. And thank you for your kind words as well to go along with that super chat. You are too kind. Everyone is too kind tonight. Thank you all. Have any of you developed a sixth sense? Asks Aussie. We've been using a lot of good questions coming from Aussie tonight.
I think a few of us, I know myself personally, have learned to further develop a sixth sense, if you will. You know, when you do what we've been doing for as long as we've done or longer, you know, I think it kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I don't really think that I have come up with anything new since before I was investigating personally. Just kind of have always had the same abilities, if you will.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Jen wanted to point out, Jason said it, your sixth sense. So I guess they want to hear your opinion. Jason, do you have a sixth sense?
Well, you know what's really strange about that is, you know, I think it was a movie, The Sixth Sense, but you know, to me, The Sixth Sense really isn't even a sixth sense. It's just, in my personal opinion, I feel like, and maybe to some degree the guys would agree with this, is that the more you're around the paranormal, the more receptive you'll become to it. And I'm talking across the board overall with everything. I'm talking from, you know, being physically affected, emotionally, spiritually, whatever you want to consider it. I mean, I'm talking like, in my opinion, the more you're around it, the more you're around these entities, especially the more time you spend in very haunted locations, the more receptive you become to it. Not necessarily psychically, but just maybe the more comfortable they are with manifesting to you.
Yeah.
And that's something I've always wondered about.
Yeah. It is kind of interesting. The more you go looking for it, it seems like the more susceptible you are to experiencing it. But yeah, and I feel like we all kind of have our own way of telling whenever we're feeling something unexplainable. It just, you know, you get a specific feeling in your body whenever because after years of investigating, you know, whenever you capture evidence, you remember the feeling that your body has right as soon as you're capturing that evidence or having that experience. So, you know, that muscle memory kicks in and you remember, you know, what that feeling that you're having, you know, the goosebumps or the strange tingling on your skin, or as weird as it is to say, sometimes I get a really strange like tingling in my knees, in like my knee joints, if that makes sense. I've had that before, and I've always said that when that happens, I feel like something's about to happen. And a lot of the times it's correct. You know, Steve says his eyes start to water whenever something is about to happen, generally. So it is definitely strange. Hello, Alex and Jimmy from Chicago.
Chicago.
Hey.
Here's a great question.
Oh yeah. I was just eyeballing that one too, Dave.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
There is a lot.
Yeah.
Where to begin?
I'll begin with
Panasonic DR60.
Steve, you stole my answer.
I know.
Yeah, the Panasonic DR60, which is what, you know, 90% of all of the TV shows and instant gratification YouTube channels use, unfortunately.
Hey, we have to be relevant and use it, Dave.
I know, we do need to get one to stay relevant, but, you know, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, while everybody else answers, I'm sure I could think of something else.
Yeah, I mean, well, let me just continue off of this, you know, just to pull this up on screen and why this is probably one of the biggest scams in the paranormal community. And, you know, there are a lot of people that believe it is a very functional recorder, but this is the biggest problem that I have with it.
Yeah.
Look at that sticker price there.
I mean, that's pretty cheap.
Highway robbery.
Right.
Who in their right mind is going to go and pay $2,800 for a digital voice recorder when Panasonic has made multiple statements about it saying that, it is not actually capturing EVP. It's not capturing the voices of spirits whenever you hear these sounds. It is actually the sound of the recorder recording its own internal mechanisms. There's a reason this recorder was recalled shortly after Panasonic put it out. It's because it was faulty. It didn't work correctly. It was an early age digital voice recorder in that era from where they transitioned from tape to digital, right?
Yeah.
So it was a piece of equipment that didn't work. It recorded its own noisy mechanisms, and they had to fix that, and they did, and they put out a new model that actually works. But because these recorders pick up strange things, people automatically assume that it's a ghost, and they will believe it, and they will pay $3,000 just to check it out.
I want to get one real quick. I want to do a recording with a DR60, and then we'll see what it is. Hold on one second. Freaking paper. That's what it sounds like. It's junk.
I think it said, "I'm dead. Please help me." I think
Yeah,
We're not bad.
I heard "get out."
We're not bashing anyone who's bought one. We're just saying please don't buy them because you're getting raked over the coals to buy a broken recorder.
Well, and people need to be aware of there's such thing known as, everyone, or at least most people in the paranormal community, I believe, have heard of matrixing. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people associate that with visual matrixing. Okay, you're looking around, you're staring at a certain hallway for a while, you're sitting at the end of the hallway, you start to see shadows move at the end of the hallway from the ambient light. Well, that could potentially be visual matrixing. There is audible matrixing. You can record something like off of a DR60 Panasonic, and if don't take my word for it, just listen to these raw recordings yourself, and listen to the noise, which is what it is, and take any point that you decide to select and trim it out, and basically say, "I hear get out," because the clips that you hear people say, "This sounds get out. This sounds like it's saying get out. This sounds like it's saying that X, Y, and Z." Listen to it. Decide that it says something else. Decide that it says, "We don't talk about that." And you'll hear that just the same. That is audible matrix, and your mind will, even by the power of suggestion, make you hear what you want to hear. So you've got to be very aware of that and be careful about it. Mm-hmm. And especially when nothing but what your recorder produces is nothing better than static white noise, and it sounds like garble. When your recorder sounds like that, you need to be especially aware of what you're calling true paranormal and what you're not calling paranormal.
And again, we're not bashing anybody who has bought that and has used it. We're just basically trying to say it's not a viable piece of equipment.
Be aware.
Yeah.
And it's not doing any justice to the paranormal field using if a broken piece of equipment is being used.
Yeah. And it really is to your benefit to buy a different digital voice recorder because A, it's cheaper. B, you're going to have a more controlled experiment because you're not having to sort through all of this contamination that is created by the recorder itself. And people say, well, what if the DR60 can capture voices? Well, that's great. I'm happy that it can, and I'm sure it can on some occasions, but if you have to spend all of your time second guessing yourself whether or not it's a paranormal EVP or whether it's the sound of the recorder interfering with itself, why would you want to put yourself through that stress?
Yeah.
It's
crazy. If you are paying $3,000 for something that is recording itself, when you could go and pay $40 for something that works properly, why would you do that other than if you're trying to have an instant gratification thing for your viewers? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you want to take that money and go spend it somewhere more.
You could literally buy 2 nicely used IR cameras and still save money.
Yeah.
Instead of spending $3,000 on a piece of garbage.
Yeah, go buy go buy a thermal camera. If you want to spend $3,000 on something, go buy a thermal camera, which captures amazing evidence.
Yeah.
So
I know we had always talked about a video idea of buying a DR60 and taking it out to a field and putting a piece of dynamite on it and lighting the dynamite and see what happens. That would be a great EVP.
That'd be a good way. This is a perfect way to waste $3,000.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So if anybody has a DR60 out there just laying around in an old box that they don't use and they want to get rid of, let us know.
Yeah.
That's right.
We can think of a few things to do with it.
For sure. That's one of them, I would say. As far as other pieces of equipment we don't trust, there's a lot of word dictionary pieces of equipment.
Any phone apps.
Phone apps are always a huge red flag to us. It's tough because there's been so many fake phone apps in the past. I know there's some people that are trying to legitimize and make legitimate phone apps, but the Ghost Radar ruined that for everybody. You know what I mean?
They're too controversial.
They are. There's no going back after the old Ghost Radar. But the problem is that all of the word database pieces of equipment are very, very they rely on instant gratification, which is why people use them. If you can walk into a building and have a box in your hand that will say words at you that very well could be relevant, it's an easy way for people to get hyped up, amped up, and scared out of their wits. But really, that's about all it's good for. So, in my personal opinion,
yeah. Basically, I think with us, if there's if there's enough question marks to it, we're not going to use it.
No.
And that's one thing we've all made clear with each other, even really before we started the channel. Whatever we're going to do it as credible as we possibly can. And, we're going to continue to try to evolve, obviously, our knowledge and stay as honest with the people who take time out of their day to watch our channel as much as possible. It's a simple it's a simple way of doing it. You know what I mean? We've lost a lot of friends in the paranormal field because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because we deliberately just said, someone's wrong, someone's right. It's just that we're not going to lie to people, and we're not going to keep our mouth shut if there's in this case, a piece of equipment being used in the paranormal field that's detrimental to the field and not a positive element to the field.
Mm-hmm.
Because we take a lot, like other groups out there, we take a lot of our time out of our day away from our families, away from work, to research as a group and for ourselves. We each have our own questions, I think, for involving the paranormal, and we all have a lot of group shared goals, for the paranormal field and for PQ. So our time is worth something to us.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Exactly, Amy. When in doubt, throw it out.
That's right. Someone had mentioned old cassette voice recorders. We used to use those a lot when we, at least Mom and I did when we first started at the penitentiary there. It worked just as fine as long as you did it correctly.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's just a matter of a different way of recording audio, and there's some people that believe that, the magnetic tape of the tape recorders can actually capture voices easier. It's all about experimentation. As long as you're not using a piece of equipment that is proven to be broken, then, more power to you. Just go experiment with it. Try it out.
Ghost Arc. I've never heard of those. What were those? Ghost Arcs? Adelaide Haunted Horizons Ghost Tour said it.
Ghost Arcs. Let me see if I can look this up here for a second to see what they're talking about. I'm not familiar with the Ghost Arc either. I've never really checked it out to see what it was.
There's Nova.
Someone said, while Ryan's looking that up, someone said, where next to investigate?
Got a few locations.
Yeah, we've got a few locations planned out. One, there's probably going to end up being somewhat kind of a small little series in Clarksburg, my hometown, from all of the different locations that we have lined up there, which will be fun. And then we've got a couple of top secret locations that we're going to this summer, right, boys?
That's right.
That we
Locked and loaded.
it's going to be a fun summer. Lots of content for you guys. Lots of episodes and stuff to come out. And
we got one locally involving a missing persons.
We do.
Is that what you were talking about, Allison?
That's pretty fancy schmancy there.
The quality looks decent from the outside.
Scam, they said.
Huh.
Well, that's good to know, though.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds too good to be true because when you start reading into it, it says as easy as turning a knob than trying to put it back on with frustration.
What?
Discover and record paranormal events as easy as turning a knob. It has a ghost box, an EVP recorder, a sound trap, an EMF meter, a temperature and pressure, and data analysis. The films make Ghost Arc easy to find in the dark, yada, 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 yada. Is that what they were talking about? Is that what you're talking about, Allison? Yes. Okay, that's what she was talking about.
Huh.
Yeah, never really heard much about it to be able to know whether or not it was anything interesting or not. But if you guys say that it's no good, we'll stay away from it for sure.
Yeah, I have not even heard the name till now.
They stole thousands and then did a runner.
Ah.
That sucks. Have you ever tried using dowsing rods? Yeah, we used to use dowsing rods a good bit. We just kind of fell out of the habit of it a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
There's one of the Riot Night episodes where we got a lot of good evidence using the dowsing rods. I can't remember which one it was, but
That was the first one.
Honor Hall, wasn't it? Wasn't the lights like literally every light source to be turned off?
yeah,
That was a creepy night.
yeah, it really was.
Back in the day, that was 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's always tough because, people want to believe that pieces of equipment are actually legitimately manufactured and are meant to work. But, you have to watch out. You have to do your own research and stay informed because you never know who's trying to make a quick buck off of people just by telling them that, there's a piece of equipment that is all of a sudden the next big thing, the easiest way to ghost hunt,
Right.
So, there's never going to be an easy way to capture paranormal evidence. If it was easy, everyone would be out here doing it,
Right. And it wouldn't be developed overnight.
Right. So, we get this one a lot, so I don't want to spend much time on it because we've answered it many times in the past.
What's that?
They want to know about the SLS,
Oh, the Sols.
the Sols.
It's a hit and miss thing. For me personally, I don't go for it. That's not to say the people that do are wrong. I'm
on the fence.
I
don't know.
It's tough. It's not something to base an entire investigation on. We'll say that.
No.
You have to, if you want to use that piece of equipment, use it in conjunction with other things and try and corroborate your evidence because an SLS camera is essentially just a structured light sensor camera, which is, infrared lasers that are used to map figures. And those infrared lasers actually map out bodies. But again, it's not infallible. This camera can see shapes that look similar to bodies. and even can look at door frames and have figures pop up. We've pointed an SLS camera at a door frame, and or at an actual doorway, and the frame of the door.
I feel the best way is to have a solid white wall and or sheet stretched out, and then have the camera stationary set right on that white flat surface and not move it. And I think that might, my opinion, be one of the better ways to do it. Like I've seen one occurrence happen with an SLS cam. I was personally holding it for one of the people investigating the museum here, and it wasn't really a human like figure or whatever, but like a mass was on the back of his neck, and he said it felt really hot. And then I went up real close to look at it. There was actually a red line on the back of his neck where that mapping jumbled-ized whatever mass was. That's the only thing that I've actually experienced that I thought was okay. That was interesting, but it was not conclusive. It wasn't 100% conclusive.
Yeah.
As long as you use the SLS as a supplemental evidence to something that you may have already. I mean, if you're running the SLS and, for instance, you're running digital audio and you get an EVP and then you get a signature on the SLS, that's kind of noteworthy. That's kind of cool. Maybe that's something. Maybe you've got the SLS running, you've got a REM pod and a voice recorder.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe the REM pod goes off and you get a voice at the same time. If you happen to have an SLS with you and you capture a signature on it, that's, as I call gravy. Hey, that's nothing but gain. That's awesome because that's more finding. That's supplemental to what you're getting. But if you're just relying, like Ryan said, on an SLS for an entire investigation, get out of here.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
I mean, you should always have multiple things running when you're.
Yeah, exactly. You should never rely on just one piece of equipment to capture everything. We always have proximity static detectors. We have EMF detectors along with digital recorders and cameras. And I mean, we always have all kinds of pieces of equipment running at once. So definitely kind of cool. Next question. Do you guys believe in curses?
Personally, I do. Yeah. For the most part, yeah. Yeah, and then we did our cursed cabin series where that family believed that the cabin was cursed, and there was a lot of strange things that happened there. A lot of strange things.
And you could hear the honesty in their words. I mean, they were, to the best of their ability. I mean, they were honest and they were just very, very sincere.
Yeah.
And what happened to you, Dave? I don't think it was a very long curse per se, but with what happened with Savannah.
Oh yeah, could be.
We did the reveal here, and we still had that same hissing sound.
Yeah, that was weird. That was definitely weird.
And it was louder here than it was in Georgia.
Yeah.
I definitely do believe in curses. I think there's intention behind anything, and if someone puts negative intention towards you or towards something, that negative intention is going to manifest itself, if that makes sense. And I only say that knowing because I believe my life has been cursed. Just kidding.
I believe in curse words.
But no, I mean,
I don't.
No, we don't use those words.
We try to watch our profanity.
Yeah, we do. But yeah, I mean, it definitely is. Like I said, if you put intention behind anything, I feel like there's a karmic outcome from that, if that is even a word.
The viewers just jumped up a whole bunch there. That was cool.
Hey, everybody that's joining, thanks for stopping.
Hello.
Are you all brothers?
Yes, we are.
Brothers from another mothers.
We are. We're all prison cellies.
Yeah, there you
go. And that question came from
Wallowist.
We we claim each other as brothers. We're not necessarily spawned from the same family line, but
Wait.
Quiet.
What?
because Jason,
I thought we were, but I don't know. I guess I was wrong.
We'll have that talk after the live stream, Jason.
Oh gosh.
you're
I
a
know what,
young man.
I lost my brother a couple of years ago, so you three, well, we'll keep it PG. You three guys are the three brothers that got left on this plane. So,
All right, man. That's us then.
yes.
We'll have to try and fill the spot.
And don't forget it.
Hey, calm down. Easy, man. Easy.
Scariest place you all have gone to?
Good question, Gail. Good question. Scary can have a lot of different meanings.
Prefer adrenaline rush.
I've been to a few,
As far as scary as in what the haunting can do, I would say maybe like the cursed cabin or like the penitentiary, because just the energies there are pretty strong. And but as far as just like the building itself being super creepy, the building of Waverly Hills was creepy.
Waverly's gorgeous.
Yeah. Cool. What about you, lads? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Waverly, yeah, it's definitely a creepy location. I mean, and plus, though, as far as the activity goes, like you mentioned, I would say the cabin or the prison. As far as just the location overall, I don't know. I mean, right now, off the top of my head, it'd have to be the cabin, because, it affected each one of us in our own ways physically, in the end, in some capacity or another. So that was pretty creepy overall.
Yeah, and that was the investigation that you got scratched, Jason.
Yeah, I got scratched. Renee found the coin in her pocket. Right there. Oh my God. Yeah, right there it is. Yeah.
That's weird. I had it for some reason. I guess from last time it was laying right here on my speaker.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that. Really, it affected each one of us differently.
I would say St. Joseph's was probably the scariest from my point of view, just because, as far as the location itself, if you're talking one of the scariest places, it's so massive. We when we investigated there, it's over 100,000 square feet, and you don't know, literally there were 6 of us in this entire hospital. It was us 4 plus Polly, Dave's mom, and then our good friend Renee was with us as well. And, it was just huge, massive hospital. And it was one of those hospitals that you can just get lost in.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Josh,
amazing.
Come on, man.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Josh, thank you, brother.
Thank you, Josh. We
Thank you,
really
Josh.
appreciate it.
It's awesome,
Thank you,
man.
man.
Really freaking awesome of you.
Yeah, do another one.
That's too cool. Too cool.
Bless you, man.
We
I hope you're
appreciate it.
staying safe out there, man. Last time I heard from you, you messaged me and said you were heading out on a call, and this is the first time I've heard from you since. So hope you're being safe out there, man.
Better be.
Let me go back to the chat here so I can read some of these. Let's do a Facebook question.
Yeah, do we have any Facebook questions? Which was the most interesting investigation with what in your mind was proof positive?
It's a lot of backtrack.
It is, yeah.
Careful there, Dave.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Proof positive, as in with the use of equipment, or just for what we personally feel. Just, you know what I mean? And
I'm guessing she means like, do we think was the most? Did we feel was like without a doubt paranormal evidence? Like, what investigation did we feel gave us evidence that was without a doubt paranormal? I would have to say Julian. Maybe that's a he. Sorry, Julian. I thought it said Jillian there for a second. But Julian, I think probably in my mind would probably, there was a residential location that we did in Moundsville, West Virginia, where we caught the most bizarre disembodied voice that I think any of us have ever heard in a completely empty house.
Can we pull that up?
Yeah, I think we can. I think we showed it on. We might have shown it on another live stream, but
you were thinking exactly the same one I was thinking of, Ryan. That's scary.
Two great minds think alike, Stephen.
That's scary. That's even scarier.
A few years back, it's probably been 3 or 4 years ago, we did a video of the top 10 best pieces of paranormal evidence that we had collected at the time. I think Jason getting scratched at the cabin was very good.
In all respect, Dave, with your experience in Savannah and the revealing of the brick all together.
Yeah.
Altogether.
That was crazy.
If we would have been able to get that shadow that we saw, or that you saw in the rafters of the attic, that would have been like the cherry on top.
Yeah. Yes, it would have.
And then we probably would have just jumped out the windows, never came back.
Okay, so it's towards the end of the video, as you can see, and this was probably the clearest EVP or clearest disembodied voice, and we can't explain it. There was nobody in the house. Literally, we had everybody that was investigating that night leave the house. We walked across the street. We were all sitting a good distance away from the house, but still within eye shot of it, so we could see if there was anybody messing with the house, and there wasn't at all. And this is what we actually captured on our digital voice recorders.
All three of them, yeah.
All of them, yeah. Every single one that was in the house. Oh, hold on. Let me go back here.
Your sound's off. There you go.
Yeah, no, hold on.
And again, that entire house was empty.
Here, one more time.
Still one of the craziest things that I think we've ever captured today.
Yeah. Spirits talking to themselves in regards to a question that someone from this living plane said. Mm-hmm. And that was by accident that was able to happen. That was the first time of all the times we've done abandonment techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got contacted by, Chris Dedman?
Yeah.
And he asked if we would do a preliminary investigation of that location. And if it did need, cleansing, he would actually come up from somewhere in Kentucky where he lives and would do a proper cleansing of the house. So they contacted us. We went over. It was supposed to be us and two members of the family. Or three members of the family. And then while we were over there, about halfway through the night, 8 or 9 women showed up, and they were going to investigate, which involved opening up potato chip bags and talking and laughing loudly. And I got really pissed off and told everyone to get the hell out of the house. So we set everything up. Of course, we had a DVR at the time. We set the DVR up, the cameras and stuff, and we put one tripod was in front of the front door, so if someone would have came through the front door, they would have knocked over a camera. We would have known. There was no doors in and out in the basement, so we left out the back door of the house. And Ryan, you were the last one out of the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember, and specifically, actually, when I was listening back, I remembered that because right before me was actually the owner of the house, the resident. And I remembered specifically, especially when I listened back to the audio, I knew that everybody was gone because I heard her loud cackle that she let out right before you could hear the door shut. And it was just, I mean, so when I listened back to the audio, I knew for a fact we were gone. And it was probably 2 minutes after that. We would have made it across the street in that time, and we would have been away from the house.
We walked down the alley.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, sure enough, shortly after, within 2 minutes after we shut the door and locked it, you hear that conversation going on inside the house between what sounds like a mother and a child, which is weird.
If that house comes back up for sale, we should try to get it.
I know someone else moved in, and actually I talked to the owners of the house, and I didn't tell them. I wanted to, but I didn't. They actually came into the penitentiary one day when I was working, and well, they didn't come in. They were walking by, and their little kid had thrown a ball over the fence, and I threw it back to him. And I asked him, I said, we just started making small talk, and I said, hey, do you guys live around here? And they said, yeah, we live in that house right down the street over there. And I said the address out to them, and they're like, yeah, that's the one. And I said, oh, that's a beautiful house.
It's a gorgeous house.
It is a gorgeous house.
Very haunted, gorgeous house.
And then they just left. So I was like, they'll find out. They'll find out.
Should go up and ask them. So, hey, I'm 2 years ago we investigated there. Would it be possible if we could do a revisit?
That'd be cool.
That'd be fun.
Awesome. Without the ladies in potato chip bags and pop.
Yeah. That was a cool one.
For sure.
The Rippy house. Yes.
Yep. The Mr. Tippy house.
Mr. Tippy. JB Rippy.
JB Rippy.
JB Rippy.
Kept
Yeah.
butchering the name the entire night.
Yeah, it was it was cool. The TB Rippy Mansion in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. The
Beautiful house.
The bourbon capital of the world is Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. So
I still think we need to go back, take a bottle of old Rippy bourbon.
that'd be awesome.
Big dining room table.
Love that. For sure. But yeah. And so we had that doll that was found in the house, and they believed it belonged to one of the kids that had passed away from the Rippy family. And we had the doll sitting on the REM pod, and the REM pod started to go off.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I don't know. Let me see if I can find that one for you guys so you can see that one too while we're here, since I'm pulling up stuff for everybody to watch. Might inspire you guys to
go support that place. It's amazing.
It is.
Whoops.
Someone said we should come back to Indiana and check out Black Moon Manor. That would be
Black
cool.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever investigated a Pinhurst, Jim Beam, Yum Steak?
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
And put it on top of the REM pod, hoping that if a spirit finds this trigger object,
Let me just say, I apologize. When I did the voiceover for this, I had a really bad case of bronchitis. So I apologize for how my voice sounds in this episode's voiceover.
to be familiar, and they come close to it and touch it, the REM pod will alarm. And sure enough, just 5 minutes after Jeff suggests this idea, our REM pod begins to alarm. Yep. Are you touching the doll?
I want to go back.
I want you to get that doll.
Notice how much the doll sitting on the REM pod, the antenna is not from the doll's legs. The doll never once set it off prior to us. Notice how it's not setting it off now. Yeah. Is that you touching the dog?
So there you have it. You want to see the rest, you know where to find it.
That's right. I think Sharon had a good comment there.
Sharon wants to know, what is the funniest paranormal thing you guys have encountered on an investigation?
That probably would have top trophy would have to go to Jason at Revenation there.
Hey!
Right.
Or when
That was almost a natural phenomenon, but yeah,
That was sheer fear and panic.
that lightning.
That was
I love skid marks. I mean, you can go back this day, take a little bit of luminol and a black light. I promise you.
Yeah, Frida.
Jason and the Lightning. I don't know. Do you guys want us to play that one too, so you guys can see that one for those of you that have never seen Jason and the Lightning?
I think it needs to happen.
We've played it a few times, but for those that have never seen it, and if you have seen it, I'm sure you would gladly watch it again.
Oh gosh. That's right. It really was a moment that contained all emotions. That is right, Jenny. It really was.
Like you said, he literally disappeared. He teleported out of the tent.
You did, and it was crazy because we went in pairs, in groups of two to investigate this place because it's such a small farmhouse, or it was such a small farmhouse. But it was in between the investigation, like in between the sessions, I should say, that we all met and regrouped at the tent, and it had started to storm, and I mean the lightning.
Oh, it was frightening.
It was dancing across the sky, and then all of a sudden lightning struck. It had to have been like 20 feet away from the tent, would you say, guys?
Oh yeah.
Every bit of that. I mean, the ground shook. I mean, it was like the light from the lightning was so bright that like you couldn't even really see the tent around you. It was that intense. And then Jason just disappeared from sight. Because I literally turned around to see talk to Jason, and he was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, I didn't even realize at that particular time, I didn't realize he went out of the tent the way he did.
Yeah, I was out like my rear end was on fire.
Yeah. I honestly thought, well, maybe I just imagined that he came into the tent with me.
So Josh Rutherford asked, after we're done with this, Josh wants to know if you can yell live on camera.
I can certainly try.
Okay, so here we go. Here's the clip. It may start with a little bit of voiceover from Jason, but this is the grand clip here. Let me pull this up for you guys.
We are outside in the tent. We leave the camera on the first floor set up and recording, and it captures a moment of real terror.
Oh god.
Hey! It sounds like he went through the damn wall.
While we're discussing what will happen next, lightning strikes just feet away from the tent's head.
How intense that was, because
But as I try my hardest to
the house was farther away from the light.
even though it's unlocked, it felt as though holding it shut from the inside. Once inside, we're relieved that none of us were hurt.
That never gets old.
All right, this is your chance, Jason. Josh wants to hear it.
Hey, that's right. I'll give a very abridged, uncensored version of some of the kinder words that was used. It basically went me trying to open the door, and I was, hey! And then I went to, shit! And then I got in, and I was like, God! I started yelling, God! Hey! Hey! I mean, that was the whole thing, shit! Pardon the language, but that's what I said in the moment, Gotta probably pardon me for the time's sake. But yeah, that's basically what I said,
And keep in mind, like I said, the house was farther away from the lightning bolt. The tent we were in was literally between the house and where the lightning touched down.
Yeah,
so it was twice as loud on the outside.
Yeah.
And this is what happened, right? So we look out the back window of the tent because was like an 8-person tent, and all 4 of us were sitting in there. We look out the back window, we see the lightning strike, and we feel it at the same time because it was so close we could feel it vibrate the ground underneath of us. The hair stood up on the back of our neck, and I saw the lightning, and I was kind of shocked at first, and then I turned around and Jason was gone.
Yeah, he was gone. Done.
It was just like that moment of, the lightning, and I turn around, and where Jason was standing next to me, he's just gone, and I look down and I see his feet. I see his feet sliding out through the bottom of the flap of the tent like a snake. That was all the further he could get it unzipped.
Right. I was like, I still don't know how I done it to this day. Like, I just remember going towards to the zipper, and like I ripped it open and I was out. I mean, I was like shot out of a cannon.
Kurt is right. That needs to be a ringtone.
Hey!
Notification.
Here you go. Trophy for Jason.
Shit.
That was too funny.
That's right. Find us on iTunes.
That needs to happen.
If only. If that was sold as a ringtone on iTunes, would you all buy it?
I would.
Oh man. You can see the lightning darting through the window. Brilliant. Yes. Yes, Jen, we were going primitive that camping trip. That's the way we do it. Some people like to use the campers and the RVs. We go with a tent and some air mattresses at the most. And let's just say the night before we actually made grilled cheese over a fire. We had a campfire out back.
The night before was nice.
Made some grilled cheese over a campfire. It's pretty nice.
Jenny, a lot worse was said. Just that wasn't the entire clip.
But yeah, that goes down in history as one of the funniest Paranormal Quest moments ever captured, that ever made it into an episode, we'll say.
Maybe we should do a benefit live stream one day, and every super chat that we get, Jason will say some kind of phrase.
Yeah.
That's right.
What's that last one you said, Jason, about 30-06 or whatever?
It's all about being 16 shells out of 30-06, That's with your mindset, after maybe you've had, a couple of your favorite, adult beverages late at night, on the weekend. Only on the weekend, though.
Yeah.
On the weekend.
Would you go international?
We would love to.
We would
love to go international.
Yes. Someday soon. Ryan and Jason were supposed to go international. But things changed in the world. But when things unchange, yes.
When things unchange.
Before long, we will be.
Hopefully.
Have you ever thought of putting a best moments video together? That'd be fun.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be all comedy either, just,
Would you want like a funniest moments, or would you want a best moments? Because we did a best evidence video already years ago.
Yeah, we've thought about doing a separate comedy channel. Just do comedy skits and comedy ghost hunting videos. And stuff.
Yeah, we did.
You guys want to see
There's enough fodder out there to definitely do one. That's for sure.
Yes, there is.
That's right.
Then we would definitely be alienated by the paranormal community. But
We gotta go all out, guys.
Adelaide Horizons Ghost Tour says they still will be Winky Face. That's
yes, they will.
That's very correct. We still will once the world goes back to some semblance of calm.
Hopefully that is soon.
Hopefully.
I agree, Julie Myers.
What did Julie Myers say?
Jason should start making an array of voiceover ringtones.
There's a few people already out there that have Jason's voice as their text message tone.
That's right.
Yes, they do.
And they
Down
live
in Australia.
That's right. They live on a different continent, and Jason's voice plays every time they get a text message.
How do you feel about that, Jason? People on a different continent, maybe like in the grocery store, hear your voice.
You know, it's strange. It's like it makes me feel like I know more people than I do, and I don't. You know,
You're a worldwide phenomenon.
it's like if I happen to meet somebody and they're like, "I heard your voice in like aisle 7 at like supermarket the other day." It's like, it's gonna be so strange. It's like all I know to say is, "Yes, ma'am." Yeah, say yes, ma'am to them, and it's like, and then I assume that everything will be okay. I'm hoping. If not, I'm like, okay, you're hearing another Jason. I hope.
Actually, his voice is on multiple cell phones on the continent of Australia, and is also his voice is the message tone of a phone that is in London, England right now. So.
See, I forgot about the UK. See.
Yep, can't forget about Beth.
Beth Darlington, hey, how you doing? If you're watching, yes, ma'am.
That's too funny.
Or yes, sir. You know, I'm not trying to be like judgmental or anything.
Tune into the Paranormal Encounters live stream tomorrow. I'm sure you'll hear it when the ladies go on.
That's right.
There's a question for Jason. Can I use your voice as my notifications for my stream on Twitch?
Hey, if it makes you happy, it makes my stomach feel happy. As long as I'm not like, yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, go ahead.
Famous voice Jason.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh Lord.
Oh, yes, the paranormal seems to respond when he talks during an investigation. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because that's because he pulls it up from the ground.
You got to pull it on up from the motherland, I mean, if anything in life, you got to get busy dying or get busy living, I mean, it's just like
that soothing Southern drawl.
I mean, it's all about being a Southernly gentleman.
If only they knew, Jason.
There's not low voice for certain ones.
That's right. I'll have to for the Paranormal Encounters 24-hour live stream tomorrow when Allison and CAG are on. I will send them an email. That way you can hear Jason's voice on their phone go off in Australia.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
You need to get it right. You need to copyright your voice, sir, Jason.
I've been trying for the last few years, but they told me that I needed to send in like an hour-long sample of me reading this dialogue of something that was written by all I know is it wasn't Edgar Allan Poe and it wasn't Hunter S. Thompson. So
Frida said she's at the bus stop getting weird looks from people.
You just got to embrace it, Frida. We get weird looks at the bus stop too, but it's probably for a different reason. Or the same one, because they hear our voices and what we're talking about.
There's a good question. How many hours do you typically spend investigating on a location? We see only 20 minutes after you edit everything, but how long do you usually stay at one place? It really depends. I'd say like from the beginning of B-roll till the end of the night, anywhere from 8 to 14 hours, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes if we're lucky, like with Revenant Acres, we got a full 36 hours to spend on location to, sleep and film.
Take your time a little bit.
Yeah. But most of the time we're there between, like he said, anywhere from 8 to 16 hours filming.
Long days.
And then it gets condensed down into anywhere from a 20-minute to a hour-long video, depending on how exciting it was.
But we love doing it.
Yeah, and that doesn't count all the hours that you guys spend doing evidence review and the editing factor of it.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
That's another 80 to 120 man hours right there.
Mm-hmm.
All parking it.
Yep, it's a lot of work. A lot of work goes into it. So, yeah. So, but like the short videos we put together, we've been doing some quarantine videos for you guys. We go and investigate places solo and stuff like that. We were only there for like an hour to an hour and a half for those videos, just to have something to film, to upload for you all. That way you would have, some content to watch while you're stuck at home. But when we get back to filming real episodes, our normal episode programming, we are going to do it the way we've always done it. 8 to 16 hours.
That's right. Heck, we might even spend a whole week straight in Clarksburg filming.
Yeah.
We're getting back in the saddle, folks.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Back in the
Get
saddle.
ready.
And he's talking about getting back on the saddle of filming. He's going to get on the saddle over at Bobby Mackey's here probably later on this year.
That's right. You just wait.
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Didn't you, Dave, and Ryan do something recently? We did. We filmed something yesterday.
We did. Yeah.
Still got a lot of work to do because
Yes, we did.
there's a lot to put together, but that will come probably this weekend, early next week. We'll probably release the video for that early next week, I would say,
Mhm.
if all goes to plan.
The members already saw a sneak peek behind the scenes, so if you join the membership, you'll get to go and check that out.
Right.
And then the members will get to see the episode a day early.
They will.
And the people who join the membership will get a chance to win this.
Yes.
And that'll
That will be announced next week, by the way.
Yep.
The next members only live stream that we do, will be announcing the winner of that.
Would you ever take a fan to investigate with you? We did a thing in the past where we had a couple of people that got to come to on one of our Riot Night investigations. I think that was 2015, something like that.
I think so.
something like that.
What we may do, because we really do spend a lot of time filming, and it would just be a long, long day for whoever comes along. It's only about 5 or 6 hours worth of fun out of a 16-hour day, because a lot of it's just watching us run around filming interviews and filming B-roll and filming a whole bunch of different stuff. So, but we do have a sister company that actually it's like a haunted tourism company where we rent out locations privately, like Bobby Mackey's, like the Anchorage, like
Twin City
Opera House. And then we sell tickets to that. So maybe one day we'd do a member giveaway for that, tickets to one of our events whenever we can actually start holding events again, because right now we can't hold events.
Nope.
Because the world is not a stable place. But for sure, we love our fans who support us.
Yes, we do.
There's a scrolling link there to our sister company that we were just talking about if you want to go and check it out. Right now, everything is kind of on hold, like Ryan said, but if you want to get an idea of how we do things, there's a website for you.
And we do have events that are currently being rescheduled. So if you bought tickets to those events, hold on to your tickets. They're not canceled. They're just being rescheduled. So we will announce whenever the new dates for those particular investigations are going to be.
Oh, yeah.
And some of them that are coming up, we may not even have to reschedule them. So we'll just have to wait and see. But
Any thoughts on the Ovilus? Have you used it?
the Ovilus. That's something, this is just kind of off the top of my head. One thing that bugs me. Have you ever heard on a lot of the TV shows they mispronounce it and they say ovulus?
Yeah.
I've noticed that a lot.
Oh,
Everybody says ovulus. I'm going to use the ovulus. Well,
no, you're not.
unfortunately, no, you're not going to. You're going to use the ovulus. But I don't know. I mean, it's been around for a long time. I remember when the Ovilus first came out. If that tells you how long we've been in the field. The Ovilus 1. And when the Ovilus 1 came out, it said right across the bottom of the device for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah. Even the puck.
Even the puck. So, I mean.
Yeah, even the puck.
So we feel about as well as you can for a piece of equipment that literally tells you it's only for entertainment purposes. Mrs. Yeah, right here. She's with us. Yes, drives me nuts.
Agreed.
What does the Ovilus?
The when they mispronounce it.
The Ovilus?
Yeah, the ovulus when they say the ovulus. So, but yeah, that's kind of our take on that. I mean, there's not much really to say about it. It's been used a lot. You know, it's everywhere now. And again, it's one of those instant gratification things.
Yep, unfortunately. Any other questions? You guys have any other questions? This kind of turned into more of a Q&A, but
Yeah.
when we do our Q&As, we never get questions. So
Yeah. The last Q&A we did, we just kind of talked about whatever we wanted to talk about, and we maybe had like 4 questions. So we appreciate all of the interaction we've gotten.
yeah, keep them coming.
It runs deep and wide.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Bless you, Jason.
Bless you, Steve. I heard you sound like you sneezed there for a second.
Yeah, then allergies.
I hear you.
They're going around strong.
Oh yeah.
Especially with all this rain, you know.
I think there's a question for Steve.
What's that? Oh, I was just kind of pondering over that today earlier. Technically, so far in the state of West Virginia or whatever, you're not supposed to have museums open. But I was just thinking on my business license, I'm technically just down as retail. So I'm just debating on just going ahead and opening early and encourage people to abide by the guidelines and just try to stay as sanitary as possible with the way things are. So yeah, as soon as I get a date when I know that I want to open the museum up, I am going to make a post on the Facebook page, my website, and try to just get the word out there that I'm open, because I don't get why museums have to be closed. No one touches anything in museums. You don't really have anything that you got to worry about any more than you got to worry about going to Walmart. So, and I'm obviously under 10 employees, it's just me and 1 volunteer. So it's not like I'm the Smithsonian or anything like that.
No. That I guess not. Hopefully you'll be able to open soon, Steve. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I need. I don't have grant money in a account absorbing my overhead right now. I gotta keep my rent paid.
Yeah. Yes, that is for sure.
What's the cat's name? Her name is Nova.
The cat's name is Nova. Now, For those of you who have seen the Cursed Cabin episode, this is kind of off topic, but we were lucky enough to actually receive these pictures a while back from Poly Gear. And if you were wondering what the kitchen looked like in the cabin before it caught on fire.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I've seen these. Oh, wow.
So that part of the cabin that was all burnt out, if you were wondering what it used to look like before it caught on fire, that's what it used to look like. So if you have not seen the Cursed Cabin episode, go check it out. You'll know what we're talking about as soon as you see the part of the cabin that caught on fire. But this is what it looked like. So looked a lot different back in the day.
My goodness, that's cool. Yeah, I had not seen these.
So,
That picture.
and then of course, things got a little bit as the back of it caught on fire, the rest of it got a little bit
Charred.
But the front door, it looked a lot different too. This is what that used to look like.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that is the that I believe the kid with brain cancer died on.
Oh wow.
It looks so much different.
It really does.
Crazy.
You almost
The windows to the right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that was how many years ago?
Oh man, 10-ish, I think. Really? Nova agrees.
She always does.
Say hi to everybody, Nova. Say hi.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
We've been trying to get back in there to film another episode. Still haven't heard anything back yet. So
Fingers crossed.
as soon as we do, you can guarantee, yeah, fingers crossed, you can guarantee that we'll be there no matter what to film that one.
And maybe a new item for the museum.
Hopefully. And for anyone that made it into the live stream that was not here at the beginning, please remember tomorrow, actually starting here in about 8 hours.
Yep.
There's a Paranormal Encounters 24-hour live stream charity event that's actually all the proceeds are going to be donated to the Association for Suicide Prevention, I believe is what the organization is called. So there's going to be stuff that's raffled off. There's going to be where people can make donations. It's going to be on their YouTube channel, Paranormal Encounters. And as you can see from this photograph here, you all actually may get to see us in action on that live stream. And then, of course, down there at the bottom, there is Steve again. So right down here, there's Steve again for the second appearance on the poster. But you got people like Viva, who you've seen on our streams a good bit. There's Connor in India, of course, of Paranormal Encounters. You have Amy's Crypt. She's, a fantastic YouTuber and investigator. You have Patrick from The Haunted Side.
Miranda Young from Ghost Biker.
Yep, right down here.
Yep.
At the bottom right-hand corner, you have right underneath Paranormal Quest on the top right-hand corner, you have the Foreman brothers there. Of course, you also have our good friends from Adelaide's Haunted Horizons.
Yep.
As well. Spook Eats as well is going to be on there. Amanda from Spook Eats. So, I mean, just, you can go on and on naming people that are going to be on it, but that's just to name a few. So, definitely drop by the YouTube channel to check it out. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. 24 hours on their YouTube channel tomorrow. If you've got nothing to do, you want to pop in, check it out. We will be on. Can we say what time we'll be on?
Yeah.
We'll be on at midnight.
Yep.
We will. We will be on at midnight.
Tomorrow. Like into Sunday.
Yeah, not an hour and a half from now.
Not an hour and a half from now.
When it's almost Sunday, that midnight.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Foreman brothers have been doing it a long time. I remember Living Dead Paranormal being around for quite some time. So I watched
2008, Mom said, when we went to the cabin. So it's been 12 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep, Crow of Judas is also going to be there.
Yeah, Steve goes on at 11, and then Paranormal Quest at midnight.
Yep. We get the peak of the night.
That's right.
We'll probably get a couple haunted items set up, and might even just leave them up because I'll probably when I get done with mine, I'll be jumping on with you all.
That's right.
Oh, why you gotta bust me like that, man? Come on,
Come on now, Steve. Explain yourself.
it's bad enough.
For those of you that don't know, because you don't necessarily always follow us on Facebook,
No one cares.
Steve actually just celebrated his 37th birthday yesterday. So everybody give a happy birthday to Mr. Stephen Hummel. He is now in his second day of being 37.
This is not 30.
So, did you blow out all the birthday candles in one try, Steve?
I didn't get any birthday candles. I didn't get spanked either, so I'm kind of let down this year.
Yeah, you did. You got one spank from me.
Yeah, I'm 30. You owe me 36 more. Put some stank on it.
Oh, man. Shoot.
Everybody's giving the happy birthday vibes to Steve.
That's right.
Much appreciate it.
We're all young pups.
And now that he's officially 37, he's decided to actually let that spirit enter his body.
Oh, yeah. I've been entered.
Huh.
More than once.
Shut up. This is going south now.
Who's next with you guys' birthdays? That would be Mr. Gear on July the 10th.
Party!
Turning 32 years of age.
Yes, I am. Unfortunately.
And then it would be Jason on October the 16th.
14th.
Finally.
Huh?
14th.
Or excuse me, 14th.
You're very welcome.
Jason will be turning 18.
He'll be turning 18 years old.
You're only as young as you feel.
That's right.
So you lied to me last year, Jason, when I gave you a birthday present on the 16th.
That's right. I told you totally wrong. I'm actually 17.
No.
Mackenzie, the Halloween baby. I'm jealous. I wish I was a Halloween baby.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Slap us around for 5 minutes. There you go. Slap across your old face.
That's right.
And that's not customary, Steve.
She threatened me with a good time.
That there are still the same amount of people watching.
Cat. No, what's Nova getting into?
She was in the closet jumping on the equipment shelves,
Nova,
which she knows better than to not do that.
look at that face. That's a face of guilt.
She knows better.
She knows there's breakable stuff in there.
Is there anything else that you guys would like us to go over? We've been here for 2 hours, so we're probably going to end this.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Pretty soon. It didn't feel like 2 hours, but
No.
Any final questions from you guys? Anything you want us to go over?
Tell me about it, Jen. I'm a January birthday as well. January birthdays are lonely.
July birthdays are the best because you always got to. It was summertime. Didn't have to worry about going to school on your birthday.
That's true.
Do you want to tell people what happened on your last birthday, Dave?
What was it?
Don't remember what we did for my last birthday. Where were we?
Was that the Bartow birthday, or was that the year before?
That would have been the year before.
That would have been the year before.
Yeah.
Was that right, Jason?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's been 2 years now.
Wow. My memory's failing me all around today.
Welcome to the club.
But yeah,
We're growing old, gentlemen.
we took a trip on Dave's birthday to the mountains, and he had just bought a car. And basically, the car, literally the day after he bought it, started falling apart on the way to the mountains.
Was it that PT Cruiser?
Yes, it was.
I remember that. I wasn't there, but I remember like just everything.
That was a bad trip.
And then he was up here. They were having him work. You were having him work on it, and they left the freaking windows down, and it downpoured the rain.
Yep. My remember that whole curse thing we were talking about earlier?
Right.
Yeah.
This guy right here. Is it possible to fake Spirit Box? I mean,
Probably, yeah.
it's another one of those things where, you know, something comes through and you put whatever words you want up on the screen to make people believe, you know, you're gonna hear what you see.
Example of matrixing.
Yeah, exactly. It's possible to fake anything.
Yeah, like DR60 stuff.
We actually had talked about this, and we're going to run this idea by you here just to see what you guys think of it. We had thought about filming an episode and making every single thing that we captured fake.
Yeah.
Like everything in the episode. And then at the very end of the episode being like, everything in this episode was fake. See how easy it is?
We thought about it, yeah.
And, but we didn't. We haven't yet. But it would just go to show you, you know, so if you watch some other channels, which there are a lot of channels on YouTube, I know, shocking. I'm going to shock you guys here for a second. All right. I'm going to tell you something that is truly and utterly horrifying and shocking, but there are channels on YouTube that fake paranormal activity.
Agreed, Jenny. She was thinking what I was thinking too. It would be a very good learning tool.
It would be a good learning tool. Yeah.
And that way you can see.
You should not dare us, Jen.
Jason the 10th. I really like the idea.
No,
Maybe
that's tempting.
yeah, maybe I'll do an Instagram poll for all of you guys to see if we should actually do it or not. So if you see that scrolling thing on the bottom there, go follow us on Instagram and I'll do a poll and see if we should do an actual episode where we can fabricate everything just to show you how easy it is to do.
12 here.
That's right.
You can use our community building. Is it haunted? Well, we could make it haunted.
I was going to say, in that case, it wouldn't matter. We'll use McDonald's bathroom.
Challenge accepted.
I bet you we
See you
would
later,
have a lot of
Amy.
fun.
Bye.
Bye, Amy. We probably would have a lot of fun doing it.
She has a PA system and a smart board. That would be funny.
Let's see here.
Oh yeah, go follow us on Instagram. I'm gonna put up a poll as soon as we finish this.
And then after we fake everything, we're going to start a rap career.
Make sure you shoot it in Florida. Somebody said.
Man, I don't know about you guys, but I think I just had a bad case of deja vu. Man.
Strange, yeah.
I feel like that
Oh,
would
weird. No, just
like
in all seriousness.
those mass magician episodes revealing all the secrets. Yeah, I mean, it would be, except we would be revealing everybody else's secrets and not our own because, you know, everything that we've ever put on YouTube, we actually show you guys what we capture. If we don't capture anything, we don't put it up. So, or if we don't capture anything, we don't say that we captured, you know, activity or evidence. We just put the video up and say, hey, here's the history, here's the investigation process. Nothing happened. But it'd be an interesting learning tool to show you guys really just how easy it is to get away with it. And I mean, I'm not gonna, I don't mean to sound pompous or anything, but I almost guarantee you that we could, no, I'm not going to say that. That sounds bad. I'm not going to say we could fake stuff better than anybody else, but
God,
that sounds bad.
It might end up being harder than we think.
It might end up being harder than we think. I don't know.
Jason gets possessed in McDonald's bathroom.
That's happened before a couple times because especially during like Christmas time when they sell the McRibs, and I like if I go in and sit down to eat it, I have a bad time about 10 minutes after I eat a McRib. You know,
he got tainted by the wrong nugget.
Yeah, you don't want to do any kind of session in the bathroom after I've had a McRib. You know, come on. I'll have mercy.
And also to teach what to watch out for when investigating. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Nana said, have you ever left an investigation abruptly?
Define abruptly.
Have we?
I don't think so. I know there was that one investigation you wanted to leave, Dave.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
I mean, we left one location one time, but not because of activity, but haunted places aren't always there. There's not much going on instead of fake activity. Yes,
Same.
For sure.
Same, Mackenzie. Put that on the screen just for a shout out.
Yes.
Nana, it was more of a personal emergency, which is why we left that place.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, was that down in Sistersville?
Yeah, that's where you left, and we decided just to, you know, it wasn't the same without you, so.
That's right. That was a family emergency.
We redid it.
Why do you think locations activity comes in waves? What riles it up?
I think
just
people, the energy.
the energy fluctuates. You know, and then plus I do think certain people can, you know, react different. I think certain energy at locations react differently with each individual investigator too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting when you see, like, you put different people into the same location, and they can have entirely different results. You know, you put, you know, if we went and investigated a location, it probably wouldn't react the same as someone else that investigated it. If, like, you went, Lauren, and investigated, it might not react the same to you as it does to us. You know, I think it's all about the energy and the intention that the investigators take into it, and what they get out of it is what they put into it. If that makes sense.
It does make sense. Yes, it does.
Let's see here.
I think.
Are they really coming in? Flexin 500, to answer your second question.
That one.
No.
Was that the one you were answering, Steve?
Yeah, it's a quick answer. There's multiple sources of energy. There's be multiple sources of entities to communicate with. So no.
Agreed.
Mickey ETS. Oh, McDonald's, Mickey D's.
Mhm.
I'm like, who's Mickey?
I think you have. I don't know if I've heard of the Ouija brothers.
I've heard of them. To be fair, I've never seen any of their stuff, but I've heard of them.
We would love to check them out, and we'd love to check out their stuff. And yeah, if they want to become friends, if we want to, call out people's BS together, we'd love to.
Oh yeah.
You know how we love to call out that BS.
Yes, we do.
I only
We
trust.
gotta call it as we see it, folks. Darn straight.
I only trust channels who are wife beaters and use phone apps.
Oh God.
Oh man.
That's a interesting. Reliability. Anyway,
$25,000 super chat, and Steve will let a demon enter his body.
Yes. In any which way it wants for $25K. With or without dinner.
Oh my.
You got to realize, folks, this is a deal.
Yeah, I'm no easy win. I'm not an easy win. The demon's going to earn it.
Well, on that note,
Oh, I'm sorry.
don't sell too cheap, Steve.
Exactly. Thank you. Someone's on my side.
Oh,
Gosh.
We
Oh,
had fun
boy.
with you guys tonight. We really did, and we hope you had fun with us tonight. It was a blast.
It was.
blast.
Breath of fresh air.
Yes.
Why? Because we love you guys. You guys are awesome, and we appreciate the support.
Yes, absolutely. For sure, 100%. We are, of course, always going to be uploading, be watching for the new channel to be, new channel.
Freudian slip.
I'm tired, can you tell? Be watching for my new channel where I call these three guys out constantly and tell everybody how much they've plagued my existence for the past. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey.
I love you guys. No, be watching for the video to drop here coming very soon, whenever it's done. And for sure, we're going to have a lot more content here in the near future for you guys because, this is what we love to do. We love everybody that supported us. Thank you all so much for the super chats. You all are absolutely phenomenal. And thank you to our members as well. It's because of those super chats and all of you members as to why we actually are still able to do what we do. And everybody that's watching as well. So thank you all for everything. And we hope you all enjoyed it. And we will see you on the next one. What do you guys think?
You guys are amazing. We love you all.
We'll see you later.
Thank you for the support.
Nova says bye.
Bye.
Love always.
Peace. Oh, there we go.